Hi there. All right, we are going to do the chemical formula PhET simulation. It is kind of challenging. Actually, the first number one is not that bad. It's actually not that challenging. We've been working with molecules and making compounds and molecular elements. So you're going to kind of use this PhET simulation to build some compounds and molecular elements. Okay, so we learned that a molecule is anything that has more than one atom chemically combined to each other. Okay, all right, so I'm going to go through number one. So this video is only for number one. Then when you get to number three, there will be another instructional video. And then for the extension, I will have a third video. So little videos for each of the numbers, okay? All right, so let's start. So what you're going to do is you're going to click on the PhET simulation. And I split screen it, so you can split screen there. And then I have it side by side with my document. Once it loads, we're going to click on the single to get started, okay? So we're going to start simple here. All right, we're going to move this down. Okay, so as you can see, what you have here is you have these bowls of atoms. So these bowls are holding atoms. And if you scroll, you'll get additional atoms. And now we have carbon and we see nitrogen, okay? So that's how you find all of your atoms. It's going to ask in the directions to make molecules. So it says on the right, you'll see a list of molecules that you must make. All right, so here we have water we're going to make. We're going to make molecular oxygen. So that's an element because it's only oxygen combined with another oxygen atom. We're going to make molecular hydrogen and our compound carbon dioxide and then our molecule of nitrogen. Okay, so only one compound, everything else is an element, but they're all molecules. Okay, all right, so let's start with what it's asking us in the first one. Okay, so it's H2O is our chemical formula. And the numbers that are below and after each of the atoms or elements tells us how many of that atom. Okay, so the 2 being after the H tells us that we need 2 hydrogens. So I'm going to type that in there. Okay, so number and kind of atoms or elements. So 2 hydrogen. And then I'm going to add only 1 oxygen. So if there is no number after the letter in the molecule, then you only need 1 of those atoms. Okay? So there's no number after O for oxygen, so I'm only going to use 1 oxygen. Okay? I'll make it like that. It looks like a 10, but it's not. That's an O for oxygen. Okay, so now I'm going to go over here and I'm going to do what it tells me to do. I'm making water, so I'm going to grab my oxygen and I'm going to grab my 2 hydrogen and boom, 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 tells me, yep, you've made water. Okay, so I'm going to screenshot that before I slide it into this box. Okay, so I'm just going to take my little screenshot, and you guys do this on your Chromebook, probably in a much quicker way. All right, and then I'm going to paste it right there. Okay, so there it is. And now I can slide this. Boom, there it is. Okay, and it tells me, yep, you've made water. Water has more than 1 element in its molecule, or I should say 1 kind of element in its molecule, so that tells me I have a compound. So I am going to highlight compound, and we'll highlight it yellow. Oops, not the border. I want to highlight the actual, I think I got to go over here. All right. There we go. Okay, so I have a compound. So you're going to go ahead and do the rest of them in the same way. Remember the little number after the letter for the symbol of the element tells us how many you have to make. And if you make it correctly, and you slide it over, it'll tell you if you're right. Okay, so since we've used all of the atoms, we've got to now slide over. So you can make your oxygen, your hydrogen, and then slide it over, and you can make your carbon and your carbon dioxide, and then your nitrogen. Okay, so I think that one's pretty self-explanatory, pretty simple. So now number 2, we're going to click on multiple for the next part. Looks pretty much the same, but there is something different about the chemical formulas. What is different about the chemical formulas you see on this page? So you're going to watch the second video. I'm going to post another video for number 3. We'll address this question in number 2, and I'll show you how to do number 3, and then there'll be another video for the extension. Okay, so do number 1, and then watch the next video.